This story is very Brisbane to me, which I heard was kind of the theme of tonight. I wrote it after being inspired by working in hospitality in the Redlands. Work is busy because everyone wants seafood for the weekend. I wrap up butcher's paper filled with prawns, Moreton Bay bug, salmon steaks, dory. Josh is happy because our sales will be good and the owners will be happy with him. He's only been manager for 5 months and he's still on probation. He jokes around with us, putting on music and scaring me when I come around the corner. There's a bit of mullet that needs to go today. Not the good one, ocean mullet, the creek one. Josh fries it up and we eat it for lunch. I take my break at 2:30 and the mullet has gone cold and rubbery and I squat beside the fly screen door and eat it with my fingers. The flesh is sweet and muddy and I bite into it gently like I would bite into a lip. When I get to the skin, I rip it off and eat it in one go. The texture fatty and scaly like the skin of an eel. It settles, wet and oily, curled deep in my belly. Right before we close, I serve a woman who for a second I think is my sister. From behind, she has the same haircut, and when she comes up to the counter and asks for scallops, her voice is exactly the same pitch. I serve her quietly, put the order through the till without saying much. She smiles when she thanks me, the crow's feet beside her eyes deepening, and I have the urge to reach out and place my fingertips against the sunspots of her temples. She leaves, and as I drive home, I think, how could I ever have thought that that old woman was my sister? My sister was a diver. She trained with a squad at the Chandler pool and competed in the 3-metre springboard and the 10-metre platform. When she was 15, she made the national squad. Her best dive was the forward 3.5 somersault. She was able to do a perfect pike, legs straight and toes pointed, chest flat to her thighs. She trained 5 days a week and her coach had her follow an eating plan. She did physio and Pilates. From the age of 8, she only smelled like chlorine. Her coaches talked about the Olympics like it could really be a thing, and my mother took out 3 separate loans and sold her wedding ring to pay for squad fees. When my sister was 16, she dislocated her shoulder during a dive at the trials for the Commonwealth Games. She screamed as she hit the water. The underwater camera showing her eyes squeezed shut and her mouth open and bubbles rushing out, and she breathed in water and came up coughing. She had shoulder problems before and not even months of rehab were enough. Sometimes, after, her squad would come to the house and bring bags of chips and cans of Coke. They'd sit with her as she watched daytime TV, mostly Ellen, mostly Ready Steady Cook. They'd try to find space on her to write on her sling, but I'd already filled it up with black Nico. Scribbles of stars and zigzags, hearts and birds, a drawing of a girl's face with her hair in a long, luxurious braid. Bubs officially retired 5 months later. She finished high school and kept her job at Coles. I kept my job at the seafood house. Sometimes when I close my eyes during a slow hour at work, I see her muscly body fall into the water. I see her lying at my feet on the pool edge, her arm jutting out from her shoulder socket like a crab claw, her mouth wide in a scream, spit dangling onto her chest as she's lifted off the terracotta tiles and taken from view. That night I wake and think I'm about to vomit. My mouth fills with saliva and I tie up my hair as I lean over the toilet bowl and think of the old mullet in my stomach. I'm sweaty and shaky, and I stay in the toilet for a long time, but nothing happens. I stare at the tiles and try to find patterns, tracing my finger over the grout. On one of the tiles, I find a girl with both toes pointed and one arm outstretched. Imagine a girl with her body tense but for one arm loose and unanchored. Imagine the girl diving swiftly into the water. Now, see from below, the diver, ferocious, coming towards you. Thank you.